On this, we are now being joined live by Elizabeth Loris, adjunct the Senior Fellow, Pacific Forum, and she's joining us live from Taipei. Thanks very much for taking our time and joining us here on WION, Ms. Loris.
You're welcome.
Now, Taiwan has chosen independence-leaning contestant Lai Ching-Te despite opposition from China. What does this mean for Taiwan, and what are the broader implications of Lai Ching-Te's victory in the Asia-Pacific region?
It means that democracy has spoken. One of the slogans of the DPP at their campaign rally was that the Taiwan people have stood up. And they certainly did in opposition to not too subtle threats from mainland China. And so the Taiwan people, opted to go with a third term with Lai Ching-Te and his running mate, former ambassador to the U.S., Bi Kim Xiao. So the people of Taiwan have chosen experience over the other opposition parties, the two other contenders. It was a three-way race, which made it very exciting, but a little unpredictable. And so they opted to stay the course.
Right, Ms. Loris, like you said, that the elections yesterday in Taiwan, it was pitched as a choice between unification and independence, and China still seems to be defined. It says that unification is inevitable. How is Taiwan seeing China's posturing?
Well, the opposition parties, the KMT, their old platform, they've been around for 100 years, has been unification, but only under a democratic China. And so their candidate, Ho Yo-i, was not talking about unification. He was talking about talks with the Communist Party and with the Communist government. We will certainly not see that with the DPP. Communist China would not talk with the DPP. They would not talk with outgoing President Tsai Ing-wen. They're certainly not going to talk to her vice president, who is true, about 10 years ago, had talked about Taiwan independence. So what we can anticipate is China will put more heat on Taiwan in innumerable ways. We can expect more military jet incursions into Taiwan's aerial defense identification zone, which is not its airspace. It's a bit of a different wicket there. But the other thing is it will try to squeeze Taiwan's diplomatic space by trying to take its remaining diplomatic partners. It will put pressure on Taiwan businesses in China. All of a sudden, their papers will not be in order, and we can expect that they will limit Taiwan exports to China by saying there's a blight on these fruits and vegetables, things like that.
Right, Ms. Loris, you're joining us live from Taipei. Now, while the U.S. has welcomed DPP's victory, Biden says he does not support Taiwan's independence. How is this reaction being received in Taiwan?
Well, they never like to hear a U.S. president so openly and publicly say that. And, it appears that his answer was unprompted. So it's a little awkward. However, it is true that the United States has never said that it is U.S. policy that the U.S. supports an independent Taiwan. Our official policy is a peaceful resolution of the Taiwan issue to be decided between parties on both sides of the Taiwan Strait, indicating that the Taiwan people have a say in their future. It is not up to Xi Jinping, the Communist Party, and any government in China to determine that Taiwan must unify with a Chinese communist government.
Right, Ms. Loris, thanks very much for taking our time and joining us here on WION, sharing insights.
You're welcome.